YouTube, how's it going? As you see in the intro, I got out for a bit of beach flying. That was right after my trip to Oklahoma, see family, and did a little bit of flying there. Unfortunately, as I mentioned at the end of that video, had some prop damage. And to the trailing edge here, you can see one side was kind of splintered. The other side was a little bit more of a clean break. Thought about trying to repair it while I was in Oklahoma, but didn't actually do it, mainly because I didn't know what to do with that one side where it was more splintered and there wasn't a solid piece of wood. But anyway, the reason I got the prop damage was it wasn't during any flying operations or actions. I stored the paramotor overnight, and I knew I was going to be getting up early in the morning, driving to a place I didn't really need the paramotor on the back of my pickup where it was strapped down. So I put a cover on it, and I set it up next to a house where I was visiting, between a vehicle. We got an RV there, between an RV and a house, and we had a pretty strong windstorm come up, and in the middle of the night blew it over. I guess I put it in a bad spot. I thought I was protected from the wind, but I wasn't enough. Blew the paramotor over with the cover on, and it landed on the prop side with the trailing edge pointing down and the ground around a little bit on the ground. So that's how I got the damage, which ended my flying for the rest of the time I was in Oklahoma in the week. The good news was, as I was driving back to the Houston area, it was all day, it's about a 7-hour drive, started getting text from my flying buddy saying, hey, we're going to the beach tomorrow, do you want to go? So of course I wanted to go. And the good thing was I had a spare prop sitting in my house. I thought about taking it on vacation with me to Oklahoma, but I didn't do it. So as soon as I got there, got unpacked in the evening, got everything settled, got the prop on late at night, and got myself ready to get out to the beach in the morning. Went out there, and pretty good crowd. I don't actually know the number. There was a number of guys from Austin. I want to say was it Ron Johnson, maybe? I'm sure I butchered that. Was an instructor from Austin. Had some students here. Some guys from Dallas, folks from Dallas. Quite a few of the Houston area guys were here. And my regular flying buddies, Roger, I guess, was out of town, but Jim was here. He's in the orange wingnut shirt you'll see in a little bit of the video. And
yeah, it is.
And for Jim, things didn't start out real well. He before he got his first flight in, he locked his keys in his car. We had a lot of help from the fellas there. One guy had a lock picking tool, but we didn't manage to pick it that way. I think eventually they went through the window, coat hanger kind of approach. Good news is Jim eventually got into his car, and after I managed to make an earlier flight, here's Jim launching for a flight. I know, so he got 1 or 2 in for the day. So as I get set up to do my first launch of the day, it had people getting stuck left and right. One of them decides to get stuck right in my launch path. So worked with Jim a little bit, and got him to go talk to him, make sure everybody stayed the same. I sat there and waited for a long time, but eventually got tired of it. Decided I was going to kind of slowly work through the gap, and got Jim headed over there to make sure nobody comes out and gets in the way or gets into the danger area with the prop. Pulled it up and kind of taxied right through there. Proud of myself. Had a good launch. We'll add the speed and the approximate elevation to the screen here from my camera. You see I got a nice launch, started turning right, didn't want to go out over the water, and pretty quickly spotted a fella. They were tandem launching right behind me, kind of into the path where I was going to go, so didn't turn as much as I'd like to, but tried to stay away from them, and got away safely, although it was a little closer call than I'd like. But we'll just show you a little bit of the cruising around, checking the wing there, the 360 camera, and we'll turn up the tunes a little bit and cruise around for the day. Here's a little segment where I decided to do a little bit of a spot landing practice. There was a wing on the ground. I kind of picked it out as a target, and I actually got a little too close to it. Right at the end, I had to gun it, so I didn't actually put my foot down in the wing. So I hit that pretty well when it kind of did a bit of a touch and go, and a little bit of a stop and taxi, whatever you want to call it, and off we go again. And here I am a little bit later coming in for a landing. You see more trucks stuck out in the sand. This time I kind of used the wing, but I decided not to go straight at it. Go a little to the side. So had a good landing, and it tended to fly more, but as luck would have it, or bad karma would have it, later on I had a starter problem. The return spring on my starter broke, so didn't manage to get up and get another flight that day. Of course, any day you're at the beach can't be too bad a day. You got a whole bunch of paramotor buddies out flying, taking off around you. Even got an ice cream truck cruising the beach, trying to tempt me with the ice cream. Trying to add to my takeoff weight, I guess. But avoided that temptation, went ahead and did a little kiting rest of the day before I headed home. Managed to kite the wing, get it upside down, shake a little sand out. The problem was, I don't know if it's my skill level or the wind died down a little bit. I couldn't kite it and fly it upside down to where I could really get the sand out. So I had to take that home and clean a little sand out at the end of the day. But I did get the sand out. Also went home, got the starter repaired, had an extra spring in my spare parts kit, and managed to get a quick flight in the next morning. It was kind of wet and muggy, but one quick flight. So here's Jim filming me taking off. And until the next video, we'll see you guys. If you liked it, subscribe and hit that notification bell.